Good day, everyone. Richard Cowperthwait for Northwest Access TV. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have alongside today St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith.
Hello, Richard.
Mr. Mayor, good to see you.
Likewise.
I should note we're end of May, taping this show on Thursday, May 2nd. Well, I love May, one of my favorite, probably May and October, my favorite months around here. In fact, the stretch from May to October, if there's a better place on the planet for me, tell me about it. I'm not sure there is. Pretty nice 6-month stretch coming up.
We already had our first thunderstorm, and
in
maybe
fact,
another one today.
Yeah, I caught it. It seems like about 3 a.m. this morning I heard some thunder.
Yeah.
Anyway, boy, back from a long road trip. Good to be back here. Good to be back at Northwest Access TV, and just talked off air, but I was down on Tybee Island, Georgia, the nearest ocean beach of Savannah for the eclipse. Of course, there was a partial eclipse down there. Didn't cross my mind, so didn't look up at the sun. But boy, eclipse day sounds like weather gods came through big time. Sounds like a very, very good day.
Yeah, I off subject a little bit. I had to say a few words at the opening of the Maple Festival, and I joked that people asked me, what does the mayor do? And I said my month of April was exhausting. I was in charge of weather for the eclipse and for the Maple Festival, so I was pretty tired. But yeah, the weather came through. It was a little high clouds, but I don't think overall that impacted anyone's viewing of it. Or and it was. I heard many people say that the eclipse, what's the big deal? They weren't sold on it.
Oh, it sounds like it was a huge deal.
And then it happened, and they saw it and participated, and they bought in on the event to the point where they're looking at where the next one is.
Unfortunately, a few years down the road, I'm not sure we're going to catch the next one. Or I'm sure I don't think I'm going to catch the next one.
Someone said Spain, the full
is that right?
totality would be Spain of 2026.
Oh, really?
But most people are like, they attitudes change as soon as they experienced it. So that was interesting.
Hard to predict the crowds. I mean, there was an event on Taylor Park at the Bay Park, and I guess decent crowds, but it was so hard to predict. But I think you said probably a lot of folks just got together with friends and just whatever.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think we had good numbers in the region. A lot of people that I spoke to had family, friends come up and stay with them. Yeah, and they just watched it from the backyard of of the homes, and chose not to go to some of the gathering points. Yeah. But with that said, I know St. Albans Bay had shut off parking at 10:30, 11. Oh. So 4 hours before the event. Yeah. And then Taylor Park had a very good attendance. No one was on top of each other. There's more than enough room for everyone. Yeah. And it just worked out well for the event. The band was excellent. Vendors. It was just a nice small town eclipse event.
Yeah, that sounds great. Sounds like the main tough issue was just folks, especially going back to places like Boston, just driving back. Sounds like that was a pretty slow ride.
Yeah, I shared with you, friends of ours had friends from Bedford, Mass, outside of Boston, and they left at 4 in the afternoon, got home at 2 in the morning. Wow. So, 10 hours to do a 4-hour trip. Wow. So that's a little frustrating for sure. Yeah. But I think overall, the city and the downtown group did a nice job planning events. People enjoyed it. The city got great exposure. Yeah. The town got great exposure to the bay. And I think the stores on Main Street, not just on the day of Monday, but the whole weekend, there was a higher level of activity, especially for April 6, 7, 8, which is usually a very slow time. Yeah. And then you top it off with the Maple Festival, which had some of the larger crowds that I've seen.
Looked like a pretty guy. Got back just kind of coincidentally just in time for the Maple Fest. But yeah, a lot of life to it. I'm impressed, and kudos to some of the folks, of course, volunteers, organizers who have been doing that for I hate to think how many decades. I hope they get some younger blood mixed in, but a good job. Nice fest.
That was a brief conversation we had at the opening with Cecile Brandon and Stefan Tatro. Yeah. Both have been co-chairs for a long time.
Forever. Yeah.
And we joked if Cecile had an apprentice to help her out and or to start learning the ropes to take it over, and that's not the case yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, we do need to, if we want to continue the event in its current capacity, as great as it is,
Yeah.
we need to recruit some younger folks to participate.
But presumably we'll see number 58 next April.
I don't know. I haven't heard any reason why we won it.
Yeah.
But it was, I think by all counts, it was a huge success.
Yeah. Well, a lot of stuff coming up. I'm not sure when this show will first air, but just quickly this weekend, Saturday, Green Up Day. First Saturday in May, Run for Jim on Sunday. So some good events coming up this weekend.
Yeah, Green Up Day, we've had a lot of activity already.
I've seen a bunch of roadside green bags already, in fact.
A lot down by McQuam Shore. I saw a lot there.
Yeah.
Mill River Brewery, along with Friends of Northern Lake Champlain, did a stream cleanup. What did they? That was 2 or 3 weekends ago, and collected 30, 40 bags of trash around the streams. And then Milan had a service day on this past Monday, and did a lot of pickup there as well. We have other companies, Restorative Justice. I've been handing out Milan. We'll probably do some more pickup. What else have I dropped bags? I've dropped bags off for a number of entities. So I think I think Green Up is coming back a little bit. I think more and more people are active in it. So that's good. As you said, the Run for Jim is always a great time. And,
Good event.
Good event, good cause for sure. And then you have Kingdom Fest,
In fact, that's funny.
Kingdom
I was
Street,
struggling, Kingman Fest. I was
Kingman
struggling
Fest,
with this. And I've got a Montreal airport mission that day to grab Nighthawk, but I'm hopefully get back in time because I missed it last year.
Yeah, it's a great event. If the weather holds, Kingman Street is ideal for that. The music's excellent. The crowds are great.
And we're talking Saturday, May 11 for that.
Yeah, Saturday, May 11.
No, I trust I'll get back in time for that.
Yeah, I think St. Albans is becoming known for community events like the Maple Festival and Kingman Fest.
And also I want to mention summer pop-up vendors. I'm not sure I caught that last, but that's starting again Saturday, May 5th, and then again Saturday, May 26th. Is it second year for that?
Sunday.
Sorry, Sunday, May 5th and Sunday, May 26th. Right. Thank you.
So we didn't touch on, I think this is the first weekend, if not this Saturday, the following Saturday for the farmers market.
I think I might have seen May 11 for that, but I might be wrong.
I think you're right. I think it's
May
a
11,
second Saturday in May. So farmers market will be then. And then this is a sort of an open market vendors on Sundays, and they're going every other Sunday, and it's open to anyone who wants to sell their product. It could be baked goods, it could be crafts, it could be farmers market type stuff, vegetables. So it's a wide variety.
Is this the second year? Did that happen last year too?
Started late last year.
Okay.
I think they hit maybe half a dozen Sundays from September to October.
Yeah.
I had heard that they have 50 vendors lined up. So it should be a nice little market scenario. It's on Sunday, so it adds a little more life to downtown. So
that's great. And concerts, much more concerts coming up this summer on Taylor Park?
Yeah, I haven't seen the list yet. We usually start that June 20th date. That third week in June is Citizens Band usually opens up, followed by others. So that's
and the St. Albans Bay folks, I trust they've certainly done well with their Thursday farmers market. I trust that'll be back.
Yeah, that's really grown over the years,
with music, a nice touch to it.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job with that, and as far as I know, they're going to continue.
Sounds like a good summer coming up.
Yeah, as long as the weather holds. It helps.
That'd be nice. Passport agency, how are you faring on that? Any news on that?
They had one of their top officials from D.C. up here over last week.
Yeah.
And I ran into them. They were sort of walking them around the Maple Festival on Friday. Didn't get a lot of time to speak with them, but did share with them the importance of the Passport Center being key to rural economic development. I mean, it's key to the St. Albans downtown.
Yeah.
It brings 40 people a day or more downtown, and they are stranded may not be the right word, but they need to be around for 3 or 4 hours,
Yeah.
and almost everyone goes to the coffee shops or has lunch or whatever the case might be. So we really benefit from the passport agency, and I shared that with the individual. I didn't want to beat him up too much considering where we're in the middle of Main Street, but he got the point, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
But no, again, is the indication that they still would like to move out of here in a while, or not clear?
What I took from that quick conversation was that they're evaluating their options.
Yeah.
With that said, they have not reached out to the city or myself as FCIDC to inquire about what spaces are available.
Right.
And that's what we're expecting is going to happen here in the next.
Yeah.
And we thought it would have happened by now, but we should probably follow up on that and make sure that they do reach out to us for suggestions as where they might go.
So not exactly clear what's going on, but they're not.
It never is with the federal government.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. July 1st, of course, St. Albans PD will take command again in St. Albans town. Big day. Staffing for PD. Is St. Albans PD prepared to jump into the town again?
I think they've been successful in recruiting.
Yeah.
I know that I think some of the Burlington police officers have continued to reach out to inquire about what the openings are.
Huh.
So yeah, I think we're sitting pretty good, and keep in mind we give up
Highgate, of course.
Highgate contract, so that sort of frees up some hours as well. So so everything's moving along.
Yeah. The old railroad building for sale. Any news on that?
No.
And of course, it's not like it's a city-owned building or anything.
Right. No, we haven't heard much on that at all.
Yeah.
As we've talked about, you're dealing with two sellers, right? You're dealing with Rail America on the building, or Genesee and Wyoming on the building, and then Canadian National, I think, on the land. So I don't imagine it will be a simple negotiation.
Yeah.
So.
In the Gil-Tabor complex, U.S. Customs and Immigration, somewhere.
Well, that's one we would pitch if we hear from the passport agency. We would pitch that a portion of that building would be used for this purpose, and the owner is the current owner would be
amenable to that.
Yeah, very open to that for sure. But right now they're renovating using the building.
So some warehousing is
warehousing is what it is ending up. It's not the highest and best use, but it is in use.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds like housing initiatives. Boy, a lot of housing news in Cathedral Square. Prepared to jump into part of the whole Fonda Solo site.
I just signed paperwork on that yesterday. I have to sign one more document today, but that's those are the agreements in place, the resolutions and whatnot. So they're ready to break ground here in the spring, early summer.
Huh. And 33 units?
33, 34, yeah. I lose track. It changes. Sometimes it's a moving target, but it's in that low 30s range. All senior housing. I think it'll be great for.
What's that? 55 plus, and of course they've got a Highgate initiative that has been proposed too.
That'd be great if they can drop a facility, an apartment facility in the middle of Highgate Village. That'll be a big. That'll be a big addition.
And these folks sounds like a very, very solid track record, Tim.
Yeah, they've got a couple operations in St. Albans, and they're both. Yeah. We don't have, the police aren't going there every other day. I mean, it's they do a nice job. Upkeep is very, very good. We were happy to be partnering with Cathedral Square for sure.
Right. And the Lake Street apartment complex, big project. What, 72 units?
Yeah, Lake Street's coming along well.
What are we talking for complete? Is that later this year?
I thought December.
Well, end of the year, maybe.
Yeah. Late fall, maybe. And then they're also looking at some senior housing on the back part of that parcel as well.
No,
Yeah.
as in a separate
Separate
another
entity,
project.
yeah. I don't remember how many
Really?
units that was, but that would be senior housing as well.
Wow.
So,
And of course, the city, you've got big plans for right near City Hall. Are they moving along for some
yeah, a lot of
significant
discussions
housing?
going on, but nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the approval on the TIF funding,
Yeah.
so that would be a big piece of it, or that was a big piece of it. So we'll continue to have I don't think we have a developer on board at this point,
Yeah.
but yeah, you've got we're doing some apartments improvements above Nourish and as a crow flies, I think we have 8 more apartments that will be going above there as well.
Yeah.
So, I would be remiss if I didn't. The city's doing our share, for
Well,
housing.
Sure sounds like it.
I think in some way that there needs to be credit extended, and I don't mean a congratulations credit. I just think that when we talk about housing, the city's done more than our share for housing.
I would certainly say you could make that case.
Well, that's something that we hope to down the road when we get into some other discussions.
Yeah. Health of down. Speaking of Nourish, which didn't hang in there. Health of downtown. How do you see downtown having?
Yeah, I think we're a
winter and
little
spring?
stagnant now. I think there's been a number of conversations that whether the individuals are just tire kickers or they're serious. We haven't made a lot of headway on filling a couple spots. We lost. You had the gold company, the gold and silver, that was on the bottom of Fairfield Street.
Oh yeah.
They closed. Nourish closed. You had Little open up, which I think is doing well. People enjoyed that store for babies and toddlers. Yeah, so I think we have our work. It's going to be work continuously, right? I mean, people expect downtown to be full 100% of the time, and it's just
Not
in this
happening.
day and age, it's difficult. We continue to work at it. The city manager is always having conversations, and we try to incentivize where we can.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we'll ever see a day when we're fully occupied.
Yeah. I mean, Highgate Commons, certainly there are a bunch of vacancies out there. It's not exactly. Not, retail continues to just be pretty tough, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I did hear that shopping center is or will be purchased by
Oh,
an
really?
individual out of Montreal
Huh.
who has shared that he's very interested in making sure that it does get filled for whatever
Yeah.
purpose. I'm not sure what the vision is, but if he buys it, I think it'll be in better condition than what it is now.
Sure.
Both maintenance-wise.
Who owns that?
I think
It's
the
not
owner's
Pomerleau.
no, it's not Palmer. It's an organization out of New York City, I
Oh
think.
yeah.
So
Interesting. Speaking of downtown, and I'm forgetting, my mind's shaky as ever, but it seems like I heard some newer life or some more activity coming to the building across from City Hall where CCV is. Is there some new activity coming in there? Boy, somebody mentioned that to me, and of course I'm forgetting what that was.
that's another one of those discussions.
Okay, discussions.
It would be another food entity,
Okay.
but nothing's been.
Okay, that's, I guess, a culinary institute or something like that, or?
Yeah, it's a training opportunity for. It'll be an operational, but also have some training opportunities.
But just nothing nailed down, just some talk about this at this
I think
point?
I think we're looking as far out as September.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, those, and there's, like I said, there's ongoing conversations many times on the Nourish spot. There were 2 individuals interested in that, and I don't know where those stand as of today, but St. Albans, I've said it 1,000 times, Richard, that St. Albans, I get a compliment every day from someone, whether it's family, friend, visitor, colleague, whatever. They're impressed with what they're impressed with what St. Albans has done. I met with 2 individuals from Newport yesterday, and they were inquiring of how they might follow the same plan.
Yeah.
And so people reach out to us all the time.
Yeah, well, you certainly got some attention from other places in Vermont. Wasn't Rutland interested with moving on maybe tax increment financing, TIF, and interested how St. Albans had done?
And Newport's interested
Newport
in the TIF
too.
as well, yeah. You know, and part of the intangibles is that, I mean, we've got a great team, right? I mean, we got a city manager who has a vision and knows how to put a deal together and is, you know, he works hard at it. We have a city hall staff that are committed to the city and does what needs to be done to keep the city clean and functional. And so there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and it's not just as easy as getting the TIF.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's your council has to have vision. They have to work in unison. Voters have to support the vision.
Yeah.
Voters have to approve the TIF bonds.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pieces to it. It's not just as easy as having the TIF.
Yeah.
So we're fortunate that, and what I stress to the folks from Newport is that whatever you do first, you better make sure it's a success.
Yeah.
You know, like the St. Albans house was our success. People
Yeah.
saw that,
Yeah.
and they saw what it could be. And then that just gets the ball rolling, gets your momentum to move on to the next project. But if you fail on the first one, it's hard to recover.
Yeah. Speaking of the St. Albans house, Jim Cameron, of course, pretty close to getting the courthouse project. Is that?
People have moved in the
Oh,
apartments.
is that right?
Yeah. He's
Really?
still waiting on the elevator, but people have moved in on the upper second
Wow.
and third floor.
Huh.
I think he has 8 apartments. They're beautiful.
I bet. And he was obviously hoping to get some things downstairs.
Yeah, nothing yet. I think he's had multiple discussions, but nothing's materialized.
Huh.
But the apartments are all set to go, and they turned out great. And you know, that's a building that sat there for 20 years.
Wow. Well, that
And-
brings me back to my early days. I can, flash back to folks like Betty Benjamin, the clerk there, logging a lot of time there dealing with criminal matters.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that right about, that court, that was, for criminal court in
Right.
my early days up here.
You
Just
had-
as in reporting. Not,
reporting.
I
I
don't
thought,
think-
I thought you had to go to court multiple times.
Yeah, I went to court multiple times, but fortunately not for nefarious activities.
Yeah, no, it's
Is that right? About 20 years that was vacant?
easily.
Wow.
And so the city bought it from People's Trust for minimal amount.
Right.
Had a parking deal with People's, and then we cleaned it up a little bit on the brownfields, and then sold it to Jim for what we had into it, and he's brought it back to life.
Parking garage, there were some issues there for a while. Is that calmed down?
I haven't heard many. I can tell you the parking garage was packed on the day of the eclipse.
I bet.
It was interesting that we still had parking, like for Maple Festival, people park wherever they can find.
Yeah.
And on the eclipse, there were still parking spots in the People's Trust parking lot on Federal Street. People were respected. They weren't parking on lawns. They didn't block streets. I mean, it worked out well. And part of it is, a lot of people that came to the region are used to using parking garage, right? They don't mind using parking in a parking garage.
Yeah.
So we saw that in the parking lot, 365 spaces, whatever, was full, and Maple Festival was full as well. So we still have issues with, the system getting people in and out of, paying the fees and then
Yeah.
getting the gate to open, and
Yeah.
so there's a lot of headaches associated with that. So we're looking at some alternatives.
Homelessness issues certainly never seem to go away.
I think they're spiking with the nice
Really?
weather, and I think people are getting frustrated with it. There's an encampment down by Food City,
Really.
and that shopping center. We've heard from the owner of that shopping center. We've heard from neighbors nearby. We've heard from the railroad. It's just starting to. The issues are escalating. Is
Wow.
probably a safe way to say it.
Yeah.
And the city is. We're trying to pull together some conversations with the railroad and others, and see what we might be able to do about it.
So some of this is actually in St. Albans City.
St. Albans City, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
And I see more and more people around town, people that I don't recognize, I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
I saw one individual yesterday. He had a garbage tote, one of the 55-gallon totes that Casella would pick up.
Really.
Seemed to have all his belongings in that and wheeling it down the street.
Really.
And I think we have great resources, right? I mean, we have Martha's house with Brother Bob, Deacon Bob now, I think.
Yeah.
Who does an outstanding job. He lays out expectations as to what the behavior will be, and they provide great meals. So I think that's a great resource. Tim's house,
of course, still with us.
just expanded. They added 9 beds, I think. So that's been good. CVOEO does a great job. They have funds and some restorative justice has some housing units for entities coming out of the prison. So there's a lot of resources. It's not going to be enough as we move forward through the warm weather months, but we can only do what we can do.
Yeah. Boy, just coming back to more school budget votes yesterday, I think there were about over a dozen, with a majority going down again. MVU, Enosburg, Richford going down again. But boy, it just sounds like the property tax crisis. So it sounds like this is just getting to be obviously a huge issue.
Yeah,
in
no.
like 3 minutes here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bigger issue when people open up their property tax bills. I mean, that's my issue, is that we as a state vote on a budget where we don't know how it impacts us. We at the city.
You're talking the school side.
Right, school side. So you don't know
of their tax bill.
You don't know what the impact is on your property taxes until you open your bill up.
Yeah.
You can vote yes or no based on whether you want to support education.
Yeah.
But you don't know what the impact's going to be to you. You don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that this sort of movement is going to increase once people open their property taxes. I think it's going to be significant when people see what the increase is going to be. They're talking 15, 20%.
Yeah.
And I know that we have, I know an individual who is looking at putting their home up for sale and finding a senior housing place because they can't afford, they're both retired and they can't afford the where the property taxes have gone.
Yeah, I hear people just about every morning waking up to WVMT just saying, hey, as soon as I can do it, I'm out of here. I'm moving south.
I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
And it goes on deaf ears on our legislators.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been, Heidi Sherman, who was a representative from Stowe.
I liked Heidi, good long time former Stowe rep.
And Heidi has been yelling about this from the mountaintops, no pun intended, being from Stowe. But she's been yelling about that it needs to be addressed for 10 years.
Yeah.
And, the Maple Run only passed by 55 votes.
Right, that was very close.
Very close.
For the first time, I think.
And if school boards haven't gotten the message, something's wrong. If the legislature hasn't gotten the message.
In fairness to the school boards, I think a lot of this goes back to the legislature. I think a lot of the local school boards, I think, doing probably a pretty decent job. But when you don't know, what impact, the local school boards have when they put a budget together. Yeah, no, it sounds like a.
And I don't get how we get to the point for there to be a 1 cent decrease in your property tax for the Maple Run.
You have to cut millions of dollars?
3.5 million is what we were told. I don't get that.
Yeah, believe me, I don't get it either, and I don't think a lot of people do get it.
But I think votes next year will be. I think you'll see more voted down.
Be interested to see whether Phil Scott runs again. Of course, Howard Dean popping up in the news here. An interesting election. We don't have any more time here.
I don't think Dean could beat him.
That's certainly my thought. And for a lot of people, a lot of young people in Vermont, Howard Dean.
They don't know him.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, that'd be a good discussion for another day.
Anyway, I guess we'll leave it there. Tim, thanks for covering a lot of ground. Again,
welcome,
good to be back, and I think we've got a good summer coming up around here. Thanks to St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith. Thanks to my producer, Alan Cunningham. Good to be back here on Northwest Access TV. And folks, we appreciate you watching us here on NWA TV. I'm Richard Cowperthwait. See you next time.